when you have it going like Steph had it going, Klay had it going last night. Skip, you don't want to interrupt that, Skip. This was something special. It's not Golden State's job. It's not Steve Kerr's job to keep the game close. Because you know what happens? And I tell guys this all the time. If my team only beats you by 3 points or a touchdown, you can go back and say, you know what? If we'd have did this and this, we could have beat this team. There is no doubt in Indiana's mind they can't beat this team. But that's not Steve Kerr's job. Let him have it. So you know what? Finish out the third. I'm going to give you 5 minutes into the fourth quarter. Whatever you have, you have. Because it's not like he's like a Russell Westbrook going to the basket. He's getting easy off picks, catch and shoot. So it's easy for him, and he had only played 29 minutes, Skip. There's 48 minutes in an NBA ball game if you don't go to overtime. He played 19 less than a full game. Give him 5 extra minutes. Let him get to 34. Let him get a 70-point game. I don't want to minimize because I don't want people to think, well, Shannon, you're minimizing the 60-point game. No, I'm not. But this could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We know he can get hot. We seen him score 37 points in a quarter. We saw him have 40 at the half last night. But, Skip, this was something special. There's no way I think he should have come out that ball game with just 60 points. It was like Usain Bolt. We saw him break his world record in the Olympics. In the last 10 meters, he's pounding his chest. Skip, we all want to know what could he have run if he had ran through the tape. But we'll never know. I just want to know if he had played 5 extra minutes into the fourth quarter, what would his numbers have been? We look at Kobe. Kobe once scored 62, I think, against the Mavs in the third quarter.
He did.
But he had Andrew Bynum. He had Smush Parker. He had Lamar Odom. This man just scored 60 points with the last 3 MVPs on his roster, on the floor with him. That's special. I don't know if anybody else can say that they've had 3 MVPs on the court, the last 3 MVPs on the court, and this young man scored 60 points. It was unbelievable. I still can't believe he did it in the fashion and in the time in which he did it. But I sure would have loved to see him get at least 75, 80.
So help me out here. The night you got whatever you got against the Carolina Panthers, do you remember what the score was and what the situation was?
It was 34-0.
34-0, okay. And your
Mike asked me, you're done if you want to be done. Because at this point, he had come to me and says, look, I only want you to play on third downs. But I'm like, you're going to be throwing on first and second downs some too. Let me get. But I never wanted to.
Which year was it?
It was 97. It was the first year we won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So I had it going. And you know, Skip, you know when you have it going. And I had it going. John and I was in a rhythm. There were a big blitz team. Rest his soul, Sam Mills took me on a lot of 7 routes, and we were audible all day. Our check was Blue Detroit. So anytime we got in Detroit, they got stretched, I was going to run the 7 route. And for whatever reason, every time John checked to Detroit, they didn't seem to know what Detroit meant. It was going to be a 7 route. And then Mike came to me in the fourth quarter, early in the fourth quarter, says, you can be done if you want to be, but I really just want you to play on third downs. I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I was done. And then he said, we third down, Sharpe, we need you. And I went in there and caught that last pass. And that was it, Skip. But I know I could have had 200 that day.
Poor Klay Thompson. He usually gets upstaged by Steph Curry. and in fact, last night, as he's scoring his 60 in less than 3 quarters, he was still getting upstaged by Steph Curry, who was on the sidelines mugging for the camera and cheerleading.
He had the pom-poms
on, and one time he ran completely back to the locker room because he'd seen enough, and the cameras kept focusing on Steph, and you can't tell me that there was a part of Steph that was saying, not going to let this man steal my stage completely. I'm going to share part of this stage, even if I have to share it from the bench area. And now Shannon Sharpe is sharing part of that stage with Klay Thompson by harking back to a game in 1997. But that's okay. I get all that. So, Mr. Sharpe, you being the LeBron nut that you are, wearing LeBron jammies to bed every night, as we all know, help me out here. What happened to Golden State last year at the end of the year when it really mattered in the NBA Finals? They were up 3-1, and what happened? LeBron James happened. Actually, Draymond Green happened, but the point is they were up 3-1. They blew the lead. Congratulations, LeBron. You're the greatest ever, blah, blah, blah. And the point is that Golden State was so rocked by that collapse in games 5, 6, and 7 as they ran out of gas, ran out of juice. Steph was never right in the playoffs, never could quite get healthy or stay healthy, that they made the ground-shaking move in the offseason on July the 4th of signing one, Kevin Durant.
Correct.
Because the bitter taste of defeat in their mouths was so severe that they finally said, okay, we give in and give up. We say we have to go get this man, and we have to let go of Bogut and Ezeli and Harrison Barnes and Barbosa and Spates, and we can go on and on. Nope, we are going for the throat this year. We are going to wreak revenge on LeBron James. And this year, says Steve Kerr, we're not going to make the mistake that we made a year ago down the stretch in the last 5 games when he let his team do what?
Go for the record.
Push down on the gas and go for the throat of the all-time record. And it took all the way to game number 82, the last game of the year, for them finally to break through and win a 73rd game. Even though they had lost at home, remember, to Boston, and lost at home to Minnesota. Yep. Then they went to Memphis on that Saturday night, 3 games from the end, 2 games from the end. And Memphis took them right to the buzzer, and they won by a point. And it took a whole lot out of Golden State physically and mentally.